So a question I get asked a lot is, what is a discovery session, right? What happens within it, and why do we do it? So as the name states, it's a discovery session, right? The idea is to discover possibilities, understand what the brand's value systems are, what is its business model like. So the very first step is for us as an agency to change our mindset and incubate ourselves into the company's team, right? Why I find that so important? It's very, very critical that we think as a partner to the client rather than give them an idea or a vision from a third point of view. The main reason most clients want to bring a branding agency on board is that they'd like to kind of get the meaning of their brand or what their brand represents in the best possible way. And I think that can only happen when you really think of yourself as one of the team members, right? And I think I write this very clearly on the website saying, we become your chief creative officer. We think like a pseudo co-founder for that period of time in order to really be able to look at decisions we make from all angles rather than find a solution that's commonly used in that industry and be able to try and sell that to the client. So I think when we are able to think like this, it changes the way we approach branding. We're able to look at much deeper insights. We're able to find smaller things that change the way customers may look at us because we feel like we own that brand. That mindset shift happens at our level first. And then what we begin with as one of the first few questions is to just talk about why the brand was created. We start working very closely with the founders and then try to understand what their story is and what is the importance that this brand's service or product holds in their life, because a lot of these companies are born with a very clear passion, and usually the founding team has this knack for trying to solve a problem that they've seen, and it's important to kind of understand that. So how do we understand that, right? One is by understanding what the need is, right? What is the problem that the brand or the company is looking to solve? Second, how is it approaching that problem? What is its current business model? We need to be able to separate the business model from the brand, because the brand essentially will still have the same values. It may just offer its services in a slightly different way. Although I'm not saying that they aren't interconnected, but one needs to be able to look at possibilities of how the business model may shift over time, how there may be new inclusions or new services or new areas that this company may want to venture into in the future, and can we design a brand that can take care of the future needs of the business? And that's really the idea behind trying to get the founders to really talk about their vision, the business model, and kind of discuss what the business model tomorrow could be like. The second is we try to really drill down on understanding what are the areas that the brand really specializes in and what could be its uniqueness, whether it's just with customer service, whether it's a product feature, right? Whether it's, a certain set of way that they've built something, whether it's the cost. So it's important to understand all the strengths of the brand. Another important part is trying to understand the customer, right? By understanding the customer, we try to say what is common between our value systems, right? What we believe in, right? How we choose to do things and what that means for us, right? And who are the type of people that resonate with the same value systems, right? So not everyone may really care about whether the brand is eco-friendly or whether the brand is vegan or whether it's an absolutely casual brand, right? Now, all of these things determine what the product and service is, right? How it's being put together and who is it most likely to benefit. Now, once we try and get our heads around that, we further try to drill down into the customer's persona, try to understand their fears, try to understand what the competition is offering them, try to understand what their key concerns are, try to understand what their current lifestyle and needs essentially are, thereby giving us a more narrower understanding of, the kind of customers we have. However, for a brand, customers are only a portion of who it needs to serve. A brand, however, is something that needs to be looked at more holistically, which means we need to not only look at customers but all stakeholders, which could be future investors, the staff, the employee system, the vendors and suppliers, other partners, because everyone creates an impression of you, and your suppliers and team equally need to be able to understand your brand's values, ethos, so that they contribute to your company's success. So the brand needs to be designed, of course, looking at the customer strongly, but also other key stakeholders, right? So these are all the things that we discuss deep in detail, and me and my team kind of, really sit down and take notes, right? We try to make this a more collaborative discussion rather than a question answer session. So it's more participative, more collaborative, and we try to find consensus within the room for ideas that we all share, right? Because that way we're able to feed off each other and nobody's trying to push their opinion. We're trying to find something that makes consensus, and that way the clients are always a very deep part of the process, right? Just like I said, when we incubate ourselves into the team, we also expect the founders to give us that much time to really deep dive into, these small bits about what the brand could be like and how it could make. So once we've understood the key stakeholders, right, we're then better able to define what is the tonality with which the brand needs to speak. How should it be? Casual? Should it be loud? Should it be formal, poetic, right? What is the kind of tone it could use, right? How does it respond to adversity? How does it respond to jokes and criticisms? These are things that really make a difference to a brand as well, because a brand is more than what it showcases, but a lot of times we judge people purely based on how we were responded back to. So this is something that I very clearly and strongly try to pen down, saying, how are we talking to people? When we strike a conversation, how do we address them, right? What is our core understanding of what the customer is? Because when this is defined at the brand stage, it kind of trickles down from the top management all the way down to the customer service representatives, and that essentially starts making a difference to how the customer responds to you. So all of these things kind of get discussed within the discovery session. Now my team essentially, by the end of it, and it takes a couple of weeks where we have continuous discussions, and then we have a long list of research that we try to kind of do basis the discussions and decisions we've taken. We try to validate them with data that already exists in the market. We try to see industry trends, or we try to see if there's some data that we can find to further validate some of these conclusions that we've drawn with the founding team. Now that helps us kind of craft what the brand's story is, how we choose to position it in the market, and thereby finding a voice and crafting the mind of the brand. So I hope this gives you a bit of an idea of all the things that a discovery session could entail. The way I like to do it is just through a lot of conversations and samosas and tea and probably a beer, because the idea is to really be able to discuss everything and all the ideas that the founding team has, kind of get them to nail down on paper, and then concisely find what is the things that are the most important to us and focus on them and build our strategy. So if you like more such videos, let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to kind of create videos on topics that you'd love to know about. Thank you.